edition of Trial by Magus. This is my first video release for the year 2017, and right on time, World of Warplanes released a Warcache style mission event whereby the players could gain 2 new aircraft. And this is the first aircraft you will see while pursuing the Lockheed P-80 Shooting Star. This is the Henschel Hs.123 attack aircraft. This is a rock star of a little biplane. This was ordered into production after it won the competition against the Fieseler Fi.98, which was also a multi-wing aircraft designed for the same role, dive bomber and close air support. These aircraft were competing for a stopgap measure because the Junkers Ju-87 Stuka was not going to be ready for frontline service for quite some time yet. It was still going through teething problems in its development, so it was decided that a biplane type aircraft would be easy to rush into production and fill in the gaps in Germany's Air Force's needs prior to World War II. And the Henschel 123 did this admirably. The Henschel Hs.123 historically was a great success, a greater success than the Stuka. The Henschel 123 was such a desirable aircraft that she was kept on frontline service until there were literally no more left. Germany could not call on Henschel to produce any more of them because the factory components necessary for their construction had been disassembled years before this aircraft's crucial presence would be realized. So in order to keep as many of them in action as possible, those that had aged or were damaged were cannibalized entirely for parts in order to keep the remaining Hs.123s in service. And just to give you an idea of how few of these were available, less than 300 of these came out of the factory prior to World War II. No more were made after that, and these were kept in service until late '44. There's a great historical write-up on these on the World of Warplanes blog, and we'll give you all the details on the aircraft that I'm not going to get into here historically because I love this aircraft and that'll just drag the video out way too long. So let's go ahead and get into the nuts and bolts of why this thing is so awesome. Well, first off, let's take a look at her competitor, the Fieseler Fi.98, which came out at about this time last year. Still a pretty good looking aircraft, but I consider the Henschel to be much more handsome in the lines, the engine, the landing gear, everything. Now let's take a look at how they compare in hard stats. Alright. The Hs.123, with my current pilot and the equipment, beats out the Fieseler on hit points. Firepower is the same. They have the exact same machine guns. They're both mounted in the nose above the engine. Airspeed, the Henschel is faster than the Fieseler. Maneuverability, they are exactly matched. So no differences there. And also, the Henschel 123 has flaps, just like the Fieseler does. So they are evenly matched there, and their altitude performance is exactly the same. So, for being the same tier, due to the increased airspeed and the increased durability of the Henschel, it is superior to the Fieseler 98. Now let's take a look at that equipment. Okay, you got that big radial BMW 132 DC engine there. Those of you who have the Arado AR-197 biplane fighter, which is a Tier 4 multi-role premium, we'll see some similarities there. The engine housing is the same because, well, they were designed to hold the same engine. The 197's engine is more powerful than this because this is Tier 2. There's those machine guns mounted right above the nose there. You can see right there. And outboard weapons, she carries 2 pairs of SC-50 fragmentation bombs. Those are useful against hardened targets at Tier 2, like ships with the red squares, bunkers with the red squares, or they can be used to wipe out soft targets composed of yellow squares and yellow triangles that cover a large area, and you don't want to make multiple passes with your machine guns to burn them down. Equipment-wise, as always, I recommend improved covering, reinforced airframe, because you don't have that rear gunner and you're going to need all the health you can get to survive through AA and fighters getting on your tail before you can shake them off. And I've also opted for concealing livery here. This is something I don't take very often, but with this aircraft, very necessary. This reduces the efficiency of enemy AA and tail gunner fire by 30%. So basically, it gives you a flat damage reduction while you are doing your job. That is, going into AA defended areas and taking out those AA guns so your friendly team can do what they need to do in enemy territory. And also, it reduces the damage you'll take from tail gunners of enemy attack aircraft, because as a highly maneuverable biplane fighter, when you're not carrying bombs, that's the role you're going to be taking up in this thing, is eliminating those TSH-2s, TSH-3s, the occasional Pegasus, or a dogfight with an enemy Fieseler 98. That tail gunner damage reduction also comes into play when going up against low-tier fighters and heavies that have a tail gunner. Now for pilot skills here, I've moved my Tier 9 1099B2 pilot into here, but he has all skills that will be useful here. Because you've got the speed and you've got a powerful engine on this German plane, you're going to want to have Engine Guru. Fire resistance is good to have. Protection Expert, really good to have with the equipment setup I have here, because it compounds the hit point bonus you gain from the improved covering and the reinforced airframe. And Cruise Flight, also useful here for increased sight range and increased engine power when you're out of combat. For the consumables, I've gone with my usuals here: pneumatic restarter, first aid dressing package, and manual fire extinguishers. I've opted for the universal ammunition for my 2 machine guns for increased damage and chances of setting both enemy aircraft and ground targets on fire. And that is pretty much everything for here in the hangar chat. This is an airplane I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I have a battle for you in it. This is actually the first battle I had in the Henschel 123 after acquiring her from the Lockheed P-80 missions. And this is also going to be the first battle video I am going to be displaying on my YouTube channel with my new and improved video card. You've probably already noticed some changes here in the hangar chat, with a greater frame rate, increased detailing, and overall increased particle effects with the lights here in the background and the Christmas tree over here to the side. Here comes the battle now. I hope you enjoy it. Good hunting, and Happy New Year.